And still on our roads, road traffic accidents for the first half of 2022 have seen a significant decline as compared to the same period in 2021. The success is attributed to intensified sensitization and media advocacy campaigns. The Multimedia Group, especially Joy News, has been spearheading safety campaigns in its bid to reduce the carnage on our roads. Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Engineer David Osafo-Adonting, says such campaigns have contributed hugely to the success recorded so far. Before we get to Mr. Adonting, my colleague Kofi J from our research desk joins us via Zoom for a breakdown on the road traffic accidents. And Kofi, what is the summary of the recorded accidents for January 2022 as compared to the same period last year?
Right. So, Asha, when we talk about road accidents, so usually we look at 5 indicators. The first being the total, reported cases, then vehicles involved, persons killed, persons injured, and then pedestrian knockdowns. And so, looking at the figures from the reports, you could see that all these 5 indicators have seen a decline as far as this same period, that's January to May 2022, and then we're comparing it to that of 2021. We've seen a decline in all these indicators. So if you look at reported cases, for instance, there were 6,472 reported cases within the same period this year, and there was a decline to 6,789. If you look at vehicles involved, 10,858 this year, and then 11,676 in last year. Then the most important one probably is the persons killed. Persons killed involved in this number of accidents. We had 1,140 this year, and then 1,250 last year. And so if you do a simple mathematical, percentage change, you'll see that reported cases have declined by 4.6%. That's very significant. And vehicles involved have also declined by 7%. And then persons who were injured during the process has also declined by 4.98%. Pedestrian knockdowns also declined by 4.94%. And the biggest component, which is the biggest decline amongst these indicators, is the number of persons killed during this period, a decline, of 8% within the period that we are talking about, Aisha.
Kofi is with our research desk. We can now go live and speak with Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Engineer David Osafo-Adonting. Grateful for your time, Mr. Adonting. This is really heartwarming to hear, but how did we achieve this?
Thank you very much, my dear, and good afternoon to you and to all Ghanaians listening to us this afternoon. Indeed, the past 3 years, the National Road Safety Authority, as you're aware, we have not been very comfortable at all in terms of the crashes, injuries, and the deaths, which we call DID. The figures compared to previous years have been growing to the extent that we recorded 2,924 deaths in last year, the year 2020, coming to 2021 and all that. We could see that figures were, rising so high, and we needed to do something drastic. Now, what we thought of first is to move to our framework, develop a campaign, and to bring everybody along with us. And the campaign which we launched, of course, in partnership with Multimedia, is Arrive Alive. Now, this Arrive Alive took off, and then we had to even strengthen it up to stay alive, this time bringing on board all other media and social media groups, our advocates, NGOs, civil society organizations, and this time particularly, apart from the media work, brought our enforcement agencies to add up to the education. Previous campaigns have been all of awareness creation, but this time, whilst we were doing the awareness creation, the police were behind us and also enforcing the law. And I believe if you remember what they call the war against indiscipline, we all decided to then minimize the level of indiscipline among drivers in particular and motorcycle riders. The two happen to be the contributory factors to the crashes that were swelling our figures up. And I'm very, very confident and happy to say that the Stay Alive campaign, which we work together with the media, has done the trick, has done the magic. It is very motivating, very exciting, and very refreshing that working together as a team is what we must continue to do, especially led by the media. And here, let me commend the media in particular. Multimedia, your initiative, we following up, and all the rest coming on board across the nation, I think it's what I can attribute to the success story we are all envisaging now.
So what do you intend to do, in terms of ensuring that figures recorded on our roads are further reduced?
We need to sustain this effort. I think it came as a result of hard work from all of us. Multimedia, don't go and sleep. So continue on the safe drive approach. It's very good. We commend you, and we will join hands with you at all times. Now, we are calling on all the media groups, media stations also to come on board like they did. But this time around, we are not just going to look at the media. We are bringing the police very, very strongly also on board again to scale up their enforcement activity. If you can see, some cameras have already been installed, and they are doing some magic for us. But the police are able to see, identify, and detect these infractions on the road, and they apprehend and they prosecute the offenders. We are told that very soon they are going to spread out and populate the road space with more of these cameras, this time even extending to the highway, where the crashes are happening more because of the speed and the wrongful overtaking. We are also, the National Road Safety Authority, going to step up our activities as regards ensuring compliance with standards by road safety stakeholders, the road agencies, the DBLA, and all the other agencies to do more than they are doing now. For example, we expect all the street lights that is being controlled and managed by the Ministry of Energy for them to also step up so that our roads can now be lit. We can see in the night clearly. We are going to engage all the stakeholders and even the private sector to remove disabled vehicles, which has been one of our challenges even in the past number of years. We are also then going to engage the transport operators, the GPRTUs, the Protuas, and the rest, this time to put mechanisms in place that will see their drivers go through mandatory refresher training, road safety training, and even beyond that, use electronic systems to track their drivers, to monitor their behavior in real time. I think these are measures that are coming up that I believe that will come to support our capacity to sustain the gains we are making now.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. Adontain is the Acting Director of the National Road Safety Authority.